And then I gotta put some straps in the truck and my jack. And I think that's it. And we're ready to go. Go get some fuel at Maverick and start our 12-hour journey all the way to Phoenix. So let's throw those straps in real quick and then get on the road, baby.
On the track.
We're we're ready to fire up the whole S10 for the first time. It's ready to go. It's got fuel pressure, it's got oil in it. This is it right here, I guess. Nothing. Oh. Killed the battery. Got the battery on a... I fucking hate batteries sometimes. I got a good battery, but it like barely has... I guess it doesn't have enough amps right now. Turns the engine over, but as soon as you put a load on it, it just stalls out. Okay. Got 15 psi fuel pressure. It's because we got a bunch of leaks. leaking right here. It's leaking right here. It's leaking right here. These AN fittings are just garbage. Need to go through and get some nicer ones, I guess. All right, let's try this again. Nothing. Killed the ECU. You see the ECU turned off down there. So I guess I just got to let the battery charge a little bit longer, and then we should get our first fire up here. Yeah. Fucking battery. Maybe I'll run to the store and go get another battery or something. Go, because it's set up for this Optima. It's got a battery mount and everything, but got these like fuse blocks with no fuses, so I had to jump some cables to this battery down there, and then to help that battery, I hooked it up to this piece of shit Optima that's old as dick from 2012, and then I got a charger on it, but this charger is a trickle charger, and so it's just a fucking cluster. So maybe I'll just run. I got a big charger at a shop down the road, so maybe that's what I'll do, is I'll just run and go get the big charger. But got the fuel regulator all hooked up and it's leaking, but should be okay to run it. And then I had to wire the starter switch. Right now I just got it to a on-off switch. I got some momentary switches that I'll have to install. And then the fuel pump was being a pain in the dick. For whatever reason, it wouldn't start up with the Holly, so I had to mess with some settings and some relay wiring and got that to work. So literally I just need enough juice so that the ECU can stay on while the engine's cranking. So I could grab my truck and jump it to these posts down there, because that's where the battery cables run from the chassis up to that, and then the starter ECU runs off of those terminals down there. So thinking, should I just grab my truck? I actually had my battery jumper close by, so I just want to grab that. Let me open this laptop. Okay, we got that back up. Got fuel pressure. While I'm messing around with this computer, I just wanted to put a little voice note into this. I lost the footage of where I did my initial walk around and little segment to introduce the truck. But anyways, got the truck back, and you can look at my tune and see that it looks like garbage because the truck doesn't have any O2 sensors, so I can't read any air-fuel ratio. And so I pretty much made it super lean because I know it'll idle when it's super lean. And if it's super rich, I don't want to hurt anything. And so that's why the tune looks like that. I explained it earlier, but I lost the footage. So for all you tuner people wondering why it looked awful, that's why it looks like that. And I have no idea what I'm doing, so that doesn't help. But anyways, here's a little section of me trying to get it to run. Okay. Try it. Oh, killed the ECU power. I didn't wire it up to to these posts. Every time I've done a Holly, I've done it straight to the battery, and I think that's our problem right now. It says as soon as the Holly sees low voltage, it just turns off. Like, because it definitely has enough amps right now. Because the thing turns over 10,000 miles an hour. Starter doesn't look very tight. Well, what are we gonna do? Gonna have to rewire the Holly, I guess. The main power and ground are just, they need to be on their own separate thing. Because everything is to these posts. Like, so. I think this right here is the Holly, so I'm gonna have to disconnect that and run it by itself. Fortunately, the wire's already cut, and I don't know if I have that big a gauge wire. I might have enough, so that's what I'll do. I'll just do that real quick, or I could even disconnect it and just use my leads and jump it directly to the battery itself back here. That's what we're gonna do, just to get it running. Okay, I'm gonna be back. Okay, I got those leads ran straight to the battery now. Let's get this all pulled up. Okay, let's double check that we're connected. Okay. Yeah, so I just used the leads, ran it straight to the Holly, and see if it kills the battery again. Yeah, so it just turns it right off. Even though we got plenty of amperage now. It's got to be pulling power from the ignition then. Is what it is. The ignition box deal or whatever, because it's hooked up to this switch pad. That's ignition power. So we must be losing voltage from that when we hit the starter. Let's see. Grab my guy here. Hook it up. Here. So we got 12 volts. I'm gonna have to put the camera down. Yeah, so we're losing, this shit just turns off. I don't know what the deal is. Need to jump the ignition power so that it's constantly hot. Are we like losing it here? 13 volts. Yeah, so when I put my probe here, I got 13 volts right now, and then it drops all the way down to 5. And when it drops down to 5, it turns off the switch pad. So that's my problem, is the ignition, it's hooked up to this little 12 volt relay board. So the ignition power doesn't need 12 volts. Well, I guess it does, but it needs like 5 amps. I'm sure, I don't really know. I'm just talking out of my ass, to be honest. But I've given this ignition wire like pretty much no voltage, and it's powered on the ECU just fine. It's just a trigger wire. So I think this is okay there, but I think this is our problem. So I'm going to I think I'm gonna hook this all back up the way it was, and then I'm just going to give 12 volt. I'm gonna use my lead and give it power. I'm gonna just jump it here so that it doesn't lose any power, because it's losing power through this. So maybe, no. You know what, I'm just gonna hook this back up the way it was, and then I'm gonna connect this directly to the battery and not these posts, and see if that fixes our problem. So I'm gonna do that real quick. Okay, I hooked that back up. I have this straight to the battery to the switch panel, which is this guy. And we are going to try it now. I tested it and it still drops voltage, but it only drops to like 11.5 volts instead of the 6 that it originally was. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I don't like have any of the turbos hooked up or anything, so see what happens. I guess I could pull this up. Okay. Well, this was moving. Like the rockers were hitting it. Well, that's weird. I can't move it by hand. Oh, and it didn't fix our ECU problem. What the hell? It smells fuel, but it's probably the fuel leak. I might have to pull that off. Make sure that's not. Oh yeah. The rocker's hitting the. You can see it right here. It's hitting the. Maybe because it wasn't tight. Try it again. Just tighten it up. See if that fixes it. All right, we're back. Did a bunch of diagnosing, and I think my problem was the cylinder head grounds. There was a main ground back in here. You can't see it, obviously. It was going to our cylinder head grounds. I think there was some interference there, or like the cylinder head grounds weren't connecting to the cylinder heads as much as they should be. I don't know. After I did that, I got sparks, so we're gonna find out. Oh, big old fireball. Still must be something wrong with the timing, which is awesome. So I'll look back into that, I guess. We'll be back. All right, we're back. So I did get the truck running, and I didn't film it because there was a bunch of diagnosing going on, and I was just testing one thing after another to see if I could get it to fire. And after all the backfiring and all that, I got it to run. And our main problem was these coil packs. They're wired up with the OEM harness, and I texted the previous owner. He's the one that did the majority of the wiring work. And he told me it was just an OEM harness that he cut up to make it short. So it still had the OEM wiring, like purple is coil 1 and red wire is coil 2, etc., etc. It was wired up to the factory specs. And so I looked up a wiring diagram and I found that 3 of these coils were wrong and all 4 of these were wrong. So they were just like swapped around kind of in a random order, almost backwards, but not quite backwards. And so I fixed that, and then it tried to run and was shooting out black smoke because it was running super rich. Probably most likely to do because I have no O2 sensors, because I just wanted it to run. For whatever reason, I could get this fabbed up and then get it running later, but I'd like to get it running and put a drive shaft in the truck so that I don't have to push it on and off the trailer. That's my goal, because to get this fabbed up, I'm gonna have to bring it to the fab guy and have him do his magic on it, and then I don't want to push it on and off the trailer. So my plan is to get it running enough that I can load it on and off a trailer, get the drive shaft in it, get the brakes, probably get the brakes done because it has 0 brakes right now, 0 brake lines, no master, no brake pedal. So if I can get those things done, I can move it around easy. I don't want to push it because my back says no. So anyways, so I fixed that, and then I got Spark, and then my map sensor I felt like was reading really off, so I changed it in the Holly, the offset, and once I did that, I got it to run half decent, and it wasn't running super rich, and it seemed okay. So I did that. That was like 2 weeks ago. And then my battery was dead, and so I had to put it on a charger, and I just like didn't get time to come back to film the end of this video of it running until today, a couple weeks later. And so here we are. Should be ready to just fire up right now, so I guess we'll just find out. Actually, no, because it has 0 fuel pressure right now because the fuel pump didn't kick on, but we should give it a shot. Yeah, I got no fuel pressure. So, oh, and the computer died or timed out. I smell fuel, but I didn't get any fuel when I turned the ECU on. So it should have kicked the fuel pump on right now. Yeah, that's why. What the hell is going on with this thing? Like, it just shows a flat, 12.1 volts. Okay, that's still working. And it kind of sounds like our battery's low, the amperage, so I'm gonna go grab my jump box real quick out of my truck. All right, we're back. I got my spark tester on there. Let's see if we have spark. Yeah, I have no idea why that happens. Like, it's like sometimes it gives it spark, sometimes it doesn't. Watch it, now it's gonna get spark. Nothing. What the hell, dude? I'm gonna do more diagnosing and see what happens. I feel like I got some power issue because I turn on the 12 volt like switch panel deal or whatever, and as soon as I crank power, it totally turns off. So that's not good. And yeah, it just like, I mean, I got the battery's fully charged. It has a 2000 amp jumper on it right now, and shows 13 volts, but such a drop in voltage is what I'm guessing. It's got to be because of those posts, dude. It's just nothing is routed directly to the battery, so they just go to those posts, and I think that's what's everything is just drawing from there. And when you put the starter on it, it's just drawing too many amps, and the Holly needs that amps, and yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna do some more diagnosing, and let's see if we can get it running again. Okay, I think I got everything going on. There's some, I don't know, man. The Holly kind of gets confusing sometimes. I know it's a simple thing, but this is like, I don't know. This is my second time messing with Holly. I had a LS Fox body with Holly, and I got it to run no problem. Drove it around pretty much instantly, but this thing, dude, is just giving me all sorts of problems. Probably need to redo the firmware or something on the ECU. Anyways, I think I got it. Let's see. No, we still don't have spark. Dude, what the hell is wrong? What the hell? Alright. Another red light. I don't know what that is. I'd have to look it up. Here we go. It's running. Okay, I'm back. My phone ran out of storage, so but it was running last time, and then it died out because it ran out of fuel because I didn't have the fuel pump turned on. Dude, I don't know. There's got to be a RPM signal issue because it was running and it showed 0 RPMs on the ECU. But it doesn't make sense because it needs RPM to run, so. So we had RPM and then we lost RPM. I just saw it on the screen. I just put a brand new, I put a crank sensor in it. And I mean, the cam sensor could be bad as well. But I just highly doubt it. Like, and what sucks is you used to be able to data log this and it would show the cam and the crank signal. Oh, and it died. Probably because it lost power somehow. But I got a data log for that. So let's save this data log and then we'll look at it and see what's going on. So I got the data log up and we're looking at it. And yeah, no crank signal. And then we had crank. And then this is probably when it started running. And then we lost crank signal, and that's when it stopped running. So it's this is frustrating for sure. I think I'm just gonna go buy another cam sensor, see what happens, because the only other thing is that has new crank sensor in it. But yeah, I've been watching videos to, you're supposed to be able to see the crank sensor and the cam sensor on the chart, but I don't know if it's this version or whatever, but I do not I cannot get it up. I cannot. So like, usually you can edit it and see sensors, but I got nothing. And I know like you can do the diag or whatever, and it's in the correct diag, the ECU is for crank sensor, but I'm still not, I still can't find it, so I don't know. I am going to go get a new sensor then, see what happens. But it did run for a little bit, so the pipes are hot. So I'd like to get it running for more than 10 seconds. That would be awesome. And then I'm gonna push it outside and do a little walk around, because I don't think I have quite done that yet. And it's dark in here, so you can't see shit. It's frustrating. Let's go get that crank sensor. Well, I got it pushed outside, make it easier to see what we got going on with this thing. I'll do a little walk around and end the video here. So I got it running, as you can see in the video, and I didn't go get a new crank sensor. I'm not even gonna run Holly. We're gonna switch it over to Field Tech anyway, so I don't even know why I'm wasting my time trying to get it running on Holly, because we're gonna swap it out anyways. Like, after this video, I'm totally gonna rip everything off and post it up on Facebook Marketplace. So I don't even know why I'm wasting my time on this. Really just wanted to get it running for the video, which I succeeded, so that is good enough. So I just wanted to do a little walk around on the truck, and as it sits right now, talk a little bit about it. So got Caltrax in the rear, got a 9-inch. It's just a Speedway Masters or whatever, just off total generic 9-inch. Doesn't even have a fill bung. Like, I don't even know how you're supposed to fill this thing. So we're gonna have to cut a hole and weld one in so we can put fluid in it. There's no fluid in it right now, so we got the fuel cell in the back, and it's a nice job, nice work back here. Little kill switch, which doesn't make any sense because when you put the bed on it, it's totally gonna be covered. Anyways, yeah, so when the bed goes on, it's totally gonna be covered. See the fat work on the cage. So it's got a pretty nice cage in it. I mean, nicer than the Fox body. You can see it's got the Kirky that's sitting on the cage rails, and then this is all that wiring. Here's a better look at it, and it's okay. I'm definitely gonna ditch the relay board or this thing and just hardwire it with push button switches, and because as soon as you hit the starter, all this dies. So I either got to run it directly to the battery or just totally ditch it, and I think I'm just gonna totally ditch it. It's nice, it looks clean, but I don't think it's gonna work for what I want. And so same with this shifter. The shifter's going, it's not gonna work. I'm gonna get an M&M, and then that's the cage work of it. Roll up doors, which are junk because, well, that track is totally busted and the window's all jacked up. So, and then got a nice big hole we'll have to cover up, and then it's got a turbo 400 in it. So all around, it's actually a really clean truck. And so we're excited for it. Get rid of all my rigged up wiring now because I'm totally done with this thing. The Holly's going in the trash. Not actually, but. And then come up to the front. Got some nice forward-facing headers. V-band to the turbo. These are just some cheap VS Racing turbos, probably journal bearing. And I mean, the fab work on it is really nice. O-ringed. I have the piece for the intercooler, but it's just not on. Probably definitely gonna need to go to bigger turbos to make the power that I want. And so it's just a stock block 5.3. Just the usual stuff like lifters and valve springs and ARP head studs. Stock bottom end hasn't been touched. And yeah, remote mounted coils and stuff. No long travel yet. Just got the stock suspension stuff right now. Well, the tubular control arms, but factory spring in there, and yeah, no windshield. I got rear Lexan for it, just haven't installed it. Here's more look at that. Yeah, but it's a sweet truck. We're excited. Definitely gonna go real fast with it. Definitely has a lot of work that needs to be done to it to get finished. So that is our plan. Do fuel tech, get the brakes and all that done, and just keep trucking along and get it finished up. We're totally gonna get the bed. I have the bed. It's in the backyard right now, and totally gonna get it. So cutting the beds, just bedsides pretty much. We have a buddy that we race with. His truck is Drippy. I mean, he's an acquaintance really, but we messaged him and we were talking about his setup, and because he has a white S10, that thing is a bad unit too, and we like how he has his bed set up, so pretty much gonna copy that. And what you do is you just skin the whole bedside and then you bolt it to the cab, and then you just build off some. I can enter photo. So you can see what I'm talking about. But yeah, I got a nice fuel cell. Definitely not enough pump to make the power that we're gonna do. So we're probably gonna add a third pump. There's 2 pumps in there. A third pump for when boost is on. So yeah, I got a freaking junk ass Optima in this. But yeah, just a bunch of little things like it needs new batteries, need to do the shock towers, need to do the ARB. It's just a lot of work. So it's a good walk around on it, and that's it. We're looking forward to it. Oh yeah, it's got, if you know anything about the S10, it's got the front K-member deal, which is way nice, and nice radiator setup, and all in all, the fab work on this thing is actually really awesome. It just sucks that we're gonna have to change some stuff, but it is what it is. So yeah, we're stoked. It's gonna be a bad unit, and we'll just keep posting here on the YouTube channel. We're trying to be more active, and this is our first step. We're not going to be doing like that vlog crap. Maybe eventually, but for now, this is the style of filming we will be doing. Like, I don't even have a brake pedal, so like lots of work that needs to be done to this thing. So it's enough jaw jacking, and that's that. So this is going to be our first YouTube video. Well, really our second. We had another video, but it was absolutely awful. So I'm trying to be better about it. And this is that. This is probably going to be a way too long of a video. Probably a 20-minute video. But this is that, man. This is the truck. And we're doing a bunch of updates on the Fox body as well. I'll insert some videos of the Fox body, let people know what we're talking about. So we're gonna get filming on that too. So yeah, this is that. Make sure to subscribe and yeah, peace.